the web in general. OpenSocial, I think, is the tip of the iceberg in terms of distribution. If you look at a website today, you'll see maybe some content and then a few widgets on the right, or depending on how the website is laid out. But usually these widgets, you have 80% of content that comes from the website, and then maybe 20% that comes from widget or RSS feeds or things like that. I think in the next 5 years, this trend will be completely reversed, where websites will be made of 20% of content by the website owner, and then 80% of content coming from other places, either through APIs or through widgets. And what's nice about this is that the content from the website itself will be syndicated out to many other different websites. So the web becomes very distributed. It's like a toolkit where you can take some photos from here, take the social network from there, assemble it and make something useful, take some maps from some API providers like Google, and assemble more interesting websites this way.
So let's think about, and you know my company runs a news site, so I naturally think about how a news site would be affected by this. How would you, and so I'm already, my wheels are spinning, so what do you have in terms of, or what do you think about, if I'm a user, could I have a wrapper that I put around all the sites that I visit? In other words, I would have maps here, weather here, and some other sorts of specific types of information. And then let's say I'm looking at a story about something that happened in Sri Lanka. Would a map of Sri Lanka come up here and the weather in Sri Lanka show up here? Maybe some pictures of Sri Lanka from Flickr or from other sites, is that?
So in that new world of distributed content and distributed APIs, you could imagine to build applications like that. They could be either built in the browser, like the browser could become that container, or your own site. You could build that experience into your own site as an option for users who want to do that. And also what's, I think, but that's more a long-term evolution.
Sure.
For the short term, I think the opportunity for news sites is really to make their site more social. If I go to your news site and I like the article, what I like to do is maybe comment on it. Today, the way to do that would be to sign up, create a new account,
sure,
put my password, and then my friends would never know about this.
Right.
What I like to be able to do is to say, oh, sign in with my Orkut account because I manage all my friends there, and then once I've signed in, I'm going to fill the comment on your website, but once I be finished, you're going to post that comment to my activity stream on Orkut so that my friends can look at it, and if they click on it, they're going to end up on your website, so there's a viral loop built into there.
And so that's where the power of this is. So really we're entering in a phase where to go back to your analogy, there was a time when you had to have a website. You just had to. And that was maybe the period of the mid-90s to, let's say, 2000. Yeah. By that time, more or less, you had to have a website in a developed country. So now we're at a phase where if you have a website, you need to start enabling it to be social network aware.
Yes.
And that's where we're going. And
what's interesting about the timeline here, you're saying up to 2000. I'd say up to 99. In 1999, there started to be these portals, mega portals, where it was important for you to have an RSS feed to feed the portals so that the users who are using these massive portals like My Yahoo or My Netscape would discover your content in there in these little widgets. But these widgets were all about content. That's it. That's what RSS was about at that time. And I think right now we're arriving at a stage where this becomes even more distributed, where it's not only content, it's behavior and data that is coming in a structured way, where you can mix and mash things using APIs to create the experience that your users want to have.
And then having that apply to multiple sites and trying to figure out ways to keep maybe a common interface or...
And it's completely distributed. That's what's nice about it, which is it's important to have your website, but maybe most of your users are going to use you in the context of your social application. Maybe you'll have, I don't know, 50 million users on your website and 200 million on various open social applications on Hi5 and MySpace and Orkut. I think that's the people from Flickster. Flickster is a site where you rate movies with your friends, and they had their website, they put lots of energy in their website, and then they started developing a social version of Flickster. And I think now, I don't remember if they published any number, but I think their social applications are even more popular than the website. I know I interact with Flixster only on Orkut today.
Okay, so this question may be a little bit outside of your area, and I'm not sure, so apologies. There's a company called Ning that is enabling companies to
completely into it. Yeah,
okay, good. And so if you're a company, you could go to Ning and you could build a social networking site on Ning, and the tools are there. And they also call their sort of phenomenon a viral loop, which it certainly is an alternative to going to a third party to start to social network, enable your own site without having to go through the retooling and working with a third party company that kind of starts from scratch? In other words, can I social network enable my current site as opposed to starting a new social network on a service like Ning or others?
I see. So these are very different purposes. So Ning is a fascinating example. They're part of OpenSocial. They were very early on part of it. Personally, I was super happy because I used to work at Netscape, so I got to meet Mark Andreessen again.
One of the founders, right?
One of the founders, and Ning is really a very smart company. Their offering is really great. So what Ning offers you is the capability of building a vertical social network for a specific community, and Ning adopted OpenSocial. So you can have OpenSocial apps running on Ning, which is very interesting. And then, so you can build your vertical social community. And what Mark, I don't remember how he calls it. I think he calls it the social, the double whammy viral loop or something like that. Because on Ning, not only do you have viral effects where users invite other users to the community you have created, but also you have network creators, like users can belong to several communities that are Ning enabled, and they can invite each other in the various communities. So you have lots of communities that are created like this. He published some numbers, I don't remember, but it's in the hundreds of thousands of communities that they're managing on Ning. So Ning is a very good option to create an OpenSocial website. Friend Connect has a very different tack on things. It's a little bit, you got much less power essentially. Ning is more if you want to create your own social networking in there, your own social network where you use it.